Shinzo Abe was born on September 21, 1954, in Tokyo, Japan, into one of the most prominent and influential political families in the country. His father, Shintaro Abe, was a well-known politician who served as Japan's foreign minister and was long considered a possible prime minister himself. His mother, Yoko Kishi, came from another powerful lineage, being the daughter of Nobusuke Kishi, who had served as Prime Minister of Japan from 1957 to 1960 after being a wartime cabinet minister. This family background placed Shinzo Abe within the very center of Japanese political life from the moment he was born. His upbringing was steeped in the world of public service, conservative politics, and the ideological debates that shaped post-war Japan. Abe grew up with two older brothers, Hironobu and Nobuo, who also pursued careers in business and politics, respectively. The young Abe was surrounded by discussions of governance, foreign affairs, and Japan's place in the world. His grandfather Nobusuke Kishi, who had been imprisoned briefly after World War II before reemerging as a conservative leader, exerted a particularly strong influence on him. Kishi's vision of restoring Japan's pride and independence after the humiliations of defeat deeply marked Abe's worldview. From an early age, Shinzo Abe developed a strong sense of nationalism, coupled with the conviction that Japan must become a more assertive power internationally. Although raised with privilege, Abe also experienced the pressures that come with being part of such a storied family. There was little doubt that the path of leadership was laid before him, but it would be his own determination and political skill that eventually lifted him to the highest office. Abe pursued his education in line with his family's expectations. He studied public administration and political science at Seikei University in Tokyo, graduating in 1977. Known more for his quiet determination than flamboyance, Abe was not the kind of student who sought the spotlight, but he cultivated a strong network of peers and professors who would later play a role in his political life. After completing his degree, he traveled to the United States, where he enrolled at the University of Southern California. There, he studied political science and gained exposure to Western political thought, international relations, and the dynamics of American governance. His time abroad expanded his worldview, giving him a first-hand understanding of the United States, which would later become central to his policies as Prime Minister. Upon his return to Japan, Abe joined Kobe Steel in 1979, a private sector experience that was brief but important. It allowed him to understand corporate structures and economic realities beyond the world of politics. However, politics remained his destiny. The turning point came when his father Shintaro Abe, serving in high government positions, involved him in political campaigns and government affairs. Shinzo Abe learned the art of constituency work, parliamentary maneuvering, and party loyalty during these years. The sudden illness and eventual death of his father in 1991 created both a personal and political vacuum. Many had expected Shintaro Abe to rise to the premiership, but fate intervened. For Shinzo, it became an unspoken mission to continue his father's political legacy. Although this personal burden weighed heavily on him, it fueled his ambition to climb the ranks of Japan's political establishment. He entered the world of formal politics with the Liberal Democratic Party, inheriting not only his father's constituency but also the complex networks of allies and rivals that defined Japanese political life. Shinzo Abe was elected to the House of Representatives in 1993, representing the Yamaguchi Prefecture. His entry into politics came during a turbulent time for Japan, as the country was struggling with economic stagnation following the collapse of the asset bubble. Abe quickly became known as a young conservative voice, championing issues of national security, education reform, and constitutional revision. He rose rapidly within the Liberal Democratic Party, aided by his family legacy and his own talent for behind-the-scenes negotiation. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, he had become a close ally of Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi, who elevated him to key posts. Abe first gained national prominence in 2002 when he spearheaded negotiations with North Korea over the abduction of Japanese citizens, an emotional and highly publicized issue in Japan. His tough stance and assertive diplomacy won him public admiration and established his reputation as a strong nationalist leader unafraid to confront adversaries. In 2006, at the age of 52, Abe became the youngest post-war Prime Minister of Japan, succeeding Koizumi. His first term, however, was plagued by scandals within his cabinet, policy missteps, and his own health issues. After only a year, he resigned in 2007, citing ulcerative colitis, a chronic illness that had long troubled him. Many thought his political career was over, but Abe staged a remarkable comeback. He spent the following years rebuilding his strength, refining his vision, and regaining the trust of his party. By 2012, with Japan facing continuing economic woes and rising regional tensions, Abe returned to the leadership of the Liberal Democratic Party and once again became Prime Minister. This second tenure proved transformative. Abe launched his signature economic program, known as Abenomics, which aimed to revitalize the stagnant Japanese economy through a mix of monetary easing, fiscal stimulus, and structural reforms. While the results were mixed, with critics noting limited long-term impact, Abenomics symbolized a bold effort to confront deep-rooted challenges. Internationally, Abe worked to strengthen the U.S. Japan alliance and increase Japan's role in regional security, particularly in response to a rising China and a nuclear-armed North Korea. He pushed for reinterpretations of Japan's pacifist constitution to allow a more proactive role for its self-defense forces, a controversial move that reflected his lifelong commitment to making Japan a stronger and more independent power. Abe also sought to improve relations with neighbors, though his visits to the Yasukuni Shrine, where wartime leaders are enshrined, drew criticism from China and South Korea. Domestically, he promoted education reform, women's empowerment initiatives, and infrastructure investment, though some critics argued that inequality persisted under his leadership. Despite controversies, he proved to be a masterful political survivor, winning election after election and becoming the longest-serving prime minister in Japanese history, holding office until 2020. His leadership was characterized by a combination of pragmatic economics and assertive nationalism, a blend that redefined Japan's role at home and abroad. Yet challenges remained, including a declining population, slow wage growth, and entrenched bureaucratic resistance to reform. Ultimately, his chronic illness forced him to resign once again in 2020, marking the end of an era. Even after leaving office, Abe remained a powerful figure within the LDP, often acting as kingmaker in internal politics. His assassination on July 8, 2022, while giving a campaign speech in Nara, shocked Japan and the world. It was an unprecedented act of violence in a country known for political stability and safety. His death triggered an outpouring of grief and reflection, with supporters praising him as a visionary leader who sought to restore Japan's strength, while critics pointed to his nationalistic stances and limited progress on structural reforms. Shinzo Abe's legacy is complex and deeply significant. He reshaped Japan's domestic and international identity, leaving behind an imprint larger than that of any Japanese leader since the post-war reconstruction. He is remembered for his determination to lift Japan out of economic stagnation, his boldness in challenging long-standing pacifist norms, and his vision of Japan as a proactive player in global politics. At the same time, his policies on constitutional revision and his historical views stirred divisions both domestically and abroad. What remains undeniable is that Shinzo Abe carried forward his family's political torch while carving out his own distinct mark on Japanese history. His life embodied a blend of inherited duty, personal resilience, and political ambition, and his career reflected the tensions of a Japan balancing tradition and modernity, pacifism and assertiveness, economic stagnation and renewal. His untimely death cemented him as a historic figure whose influence will continue to shape Japan's future for decades.